Welcome to How to Sell More. Today we're talking about what are you really selling? When the thing you're selling is not the thing you think you're selling. In fact, you're selling something else. If that makes sense. That's what we're talking about today. I'm Mark Drager. Let's get into it. Having been an agency owner since 2006, I have had thousands and thousands of conversations with all kinds of different people in all kinds of different industries, different businesses. I mean, just going back to our client base, we've done thousands of projects, 300 plus customers, 29 industries. But the reason I say thousands and thousands of conversations is because there's lots of sales calls that I've had that never went anywhere and that didn't close. And inevitably, when someone comes to me and they sit down across from me and they say, we want help to fix our brand. We want help with lead generation. We want help to sell this product or to sell this service or to get more attention or more awareness or more emails or whatever it might be. I take these prospects through a system and a format, a series of questions just to help figure out exactly what they want to do so we can try to nail down scope and objectives and everything else. And so inevitably, as we work through these series of conversations, I always get to this question: what are we really selling? What are we really selling here? And if the project that I'm talking about with my prospect happens to be something that's very sales related, like lead generation or a conversion tool or a sales enablement tool, when I say, what are we selling here? They go, well, we're selling this, and it makes sense to them. However, if we're talking with someone about recruitment, a recruitment campaign or a recruitment strategy to get better talent at maybe lower market rates or to try and compete against your competition for the very best, smartest staff members, and I say, what are we selling? They go, we're not selling anything. We're trying to recruit people. Or if I'm speaking with a charity or a nonprofit and I ask them the question, what are we selling? They go, we're a charity. We're a nonprofit. We don't sell anything. Or if I'm speaking with an educator or a coach or a consultant, someone who helps educate and train and produce content, what are we selling? And they say, well, we're not selling anything. We're trying to get more people to understand these concepts. And they completely miss the point. Because the truth is that with every communication, with every form of outreach our businesses do, we are trying to influence people. And so at the end of the day, we're in fact trying to sell someone on something. Maybe it's just take the next step in the process. Maybe it's just a follow. Maybe it's to donate money to that charity. Maybe it's to take the time to sign up or to take the time to learn or come back to courses if you're an educator. But the truth is, all of us are trying to sell someone on something at all times. And if we don't take the time to really understand what we're selling and we just start with the product or service at the very highest level, we completely miss the point. And that is the reason why this question, what are you really selling, is so interesting. It's so powerful. It tends to bring on really great conversations where you can dig deep, because I've sat around boardroom tables with C-suite leaders, with entrepreneurs, with their partners, where they all have a completely different point of view on exactly what they're selling. The ops person says efficiencies in one thing. The marketing and sales person says something else. Like, depending on your background and where you come from, you could look at this question in a totally different way. And so often I go, well, what are you selling? And so when I ask the question, what are we really selling here? What I am asking is, in this moment, in this campaign, in this communications, in this one time where our prospect will be interacting with us, not the big global what are we selling, but in this moment, what are we selling? Let me break this down and make this a little bit more clear if it's a little fuzzy right now. Yesterday, I got an email from, some organization. I don't even remember the organization. Maybe it was a law firm. Maybe it was a private bank. I can't even recall. That's how much of an impact this had on me. But what I do remember is that the headline of this email was, you have the opportunity to listen to our senior staff talk about some topic. I don't remember the brand. I don't even remember the topic. But I do remember the fact that I looked at the headline and thought, that is such a stupid headline. Why would you email people out and say, you now have the opportunity to listen to us talk? You have been invited to a webinar. You have been, please, you can listen to my podcast or whatever it might be. Because in that communication, if we asked, what are you really selling here? They're not going to sell me on listening to them talk. I don't care about them talking. I don't care about their webinar. I don't care about the event. I don't care about any of that stuff. None of that stuff is important to me. They are making the classic mistake of trying to sell me as the person receiving the email. They're making the classic mistake of putting themselves first, of putting their needs first, of not considering what's in it for me, of not really understanding what they're selling me. They think, I'm sure this organization thinks, that they are giving us the opportunity to learn all these amazing things. But I don't know what those things are because I didn't go deep into the email. I don't know if it's relevant to me. I don't know what it's about. I don't know the organization. I don't even remember that because the headline turned me off right away. They were trying to sell me on the opportunity to listen to them talk. And frankly, I'm not interested in listening to them talk. You're listening to this right now. I hope you're interested in listening to me talk. Now that I say that, I'm like, oh gosh, I hope I've still kept you. But if they took a moment to really consider what they were selling, they could have been giving me the very information I need to break through to the next level and address the challenge I'm having right now. Maybe that's what they're doing, but they didn't sell me that. They sold me the opportunity to listen to them talk. I don't care about that. And so here's some common ways that this has actually impacted all kinds of businesses I've spoken to. You know, think about if you have an event. Well, what are you selling? You're selling tickets to the event, right? You're selling tickets to the event. You want to try and sell tickets to the event, but that's not really what you're selling. Because I know that people attend events for all kinds of different reasons. Some people attend because they want the curriculum. They want the information. They want to learn. Some people attend events because they want to network. They want to meet more people. They want to connect with friends. They want that sense of community. Some people attend events simply so they could say they were at the event. I can remember Tom and Lisa Bilyeu posting a photo on Instagram about them attending the Oscars, the Academy Awards, and why that was such an important thing to them. Now, I'm sure they didn't buy that ticket for the curriculum, right? Like, no, not that. Maybe for the networking, but I don't think so. Certainly for the experience. But now they also get to say that they did it, right? So they attended that event for a very specific reason. And so if we think about this scenario of what are we really selling as we're selling tickets for the events, I just rhymed off like 4, but there are so many more reasons why people might attend an event. And if you think you're selling tickets, you're not going to sell any tickets. If you start to sell the opportunity to learn through curriculum and experts and one-on-one conversations, the ability to network, the ability to meet great people, the opportunity to get out of your city and get into a different place, surrounded with a different vibe, a different feeling, call it a boost of energy or maybe dedication or morale. And if this event happens to be in a really cool place or jam-packed full of great experiences on top of that, that's another great reason to attend. Now let's shift gears to say like a mastermind. Maybe you're not selling events. Maybe you're selling a mastermind. Maybe it's group coaching. Maybe it's one-on-one coaching, whatever. You're selling events to that. Well, what are you really selling? You're selling your time and you're selling access to you, but it's so much more than that, isn't it? You're not just selling your time. You're going to focus on the outcome, the impact you can make, the results that someone can get, and again, community and like-minded things and being challenged, being directly challenged, having your mind blown, being held accountable. There's so many reasons why people join masterminds. But maybe you don't do events or masterminds. Maybe you sell cars. Why do people buy cars? Well, at the end of the day, a basic car is going to get you to the destination just like a really cool one will. You know, when I started my company back in 2006, I had a Saturn SL1, a basic car with plastic doors that never rusted. It was manual. It was as basic as you can get of a car, a Saturn SL1 sedan. And you know what? The next car I got was a Mustang. And then I got an Accent, a Hyundai Accent, and I got then a Nissan Sentra Spec V, and then I have my truck that I drive now. All of them have gotten me places. I've been in some really amazing cars. Everyone will get you from A to B, but they do different things, don't they? Right? My truck now is way better for the life that I live with my kids. Like I can take them dirt biking because we got dirt bikes that fit in the back. I can do a Home Depot run. I don't mind loading it up because I live on a half acre in the city, so I don't mind loading it up with wood chips. And I'm just able to do a lot more in my truck than I was when I had, a Saturn sedan. Same vehicle gets from A to B. If you're focused just on the functionality of it, it will, it'll help a bit. But the reason I bought the truck and the reason the person sold me the truck wasn't because they were selling me a truck. They were selling me everything I can do with it. Now, if you've ever heard the old saying, right, people don't buy a hammer to hit things with, they buy a hammer to hang a picture. Or you don't buy a drill to drill things, you buy a drill because you want a hole. Then you're starting to get in the right direction, right? We're focused on very outcome-based pieces. But at the end of the day, there's a few different frameworks that we can latch onto that I have found helpful in my career when I'm working on my own work or when I'm working with clients. And that's always to ask yourself, what are we selling? In this conversation, in this episode, in this email, in this part of the process, what are we trying to influence people to do? What are we selling? And again, it's not usually the end product. Now, for service-based businesses, at the end of the day, people buy for two main reasons. They buy because it's something they can't do, or they buy because it's something they don't want to do. I would love your point of view on this. You can head over to Instagram @SalesLoopBrand. You can drop me a DM if you feel that there's any other reason people buy service-based businesses. But in my experience, people only buy for two reasons. It's something they do not know how to do and cannot do without hiring someone to help them, or it's something they don't want to do. They don't want to put the time in, they don't want to put the energy in, or it's just not effective for them to do it. That's the main reason people buy service-based businesses. Now, if we shift gears a bit, I'm a huge fan of Russell Brunson's book, Expert Secrets. Now, you probably know Russell Brunson because of ClickFunnels, and he's written the whole Expert Secrets series or the whole Secrets series. And he's all over the place for years now on Facebook and on Instagram, and he's just everywhere. If you're in marketing, you know Russell Brunson. But in Expert Secrets, he really breaks down the fact that at the end of the day, people buy for status. Now, that's an interesting thing, right? Because if you're selling a luxury product or a luxury service, or you're selling something that isn't a service base that's going to come down to like, hey, I buy it because I can't do it, or I buy it because I don't want to do it. The next level beyond I can't do it or don't want to do it is a justification why I might spend more on something. And in Expert Secrets, page 53, he breaks down that everyone does everything for the reason of status. Status means I want the appearance of intelligence, so I want to look smarter, power, wealth, physical appearance, style, or happiness. Now, what do we not want? We don't want to look stupid for making bad decisions. So when we're buying and people are selling something, we can ask ourselves, like, are we selling here the fact that at the end of the day, if someone selects us or selects this product or service, is going to make them look more intelligent and smart amongst their peers? It's the very reason why fans who are huge believers of yours could become great referral sources, because every time someone refers someone who's really great, they're doing it for the reason of status, maybe for love or for connection or what have you. But mainly, if I refer someone to you, it's because it's going to make me look good for having connected those dots. And that will bring me a sense of intelligence. Or maybe power, because now I'm in a higher position because I seem like an authority. But there's wealth, there's physical appearance, there's style, there's happiness. Each one of those things will bring us status. So what are you really selling? Maybe your product or service sells one of those things. Now, if we want to take this even one step further from a psychology point of view, let's move beyond. Again, the first level is you're doing it because I can't do it or because I don't want to do it. The second level is the idea of status. People are buying things because they want status and they don't want to look foolish. But the next level in my mind are part of Tony Robbins' program. I've been to Unleash the Power Within twice. I think his program is fantastic. And he has part of it that has really changed my thinking about sales. And he talks about the 6 human needs. Now, we're only going to focus on 4 out of those 6. But after having been to Unleash the Power Within in 2018 and 2019, I started to see these patterns everywhere. In the way people sold or frankly didn't sell, in the way they marketed and advertised, in the way that they were able to make money and create great products and great services. And I started to notice that there are these 4 human needs that Tony Robbins purports that everyone requires and that we value. And I started to see that the companies who were winning had incorporated more than one of these. And the companies that were losing, frankly, either ignored this or only had maybe 1 or 2 of these. Here are 4 of the human needs that Tony Robbins and psychology research says that we all need. The first, especially in North America, is certainty. The vast majority of people out there are obsessed with certainty. It's the reason why they marry people who are in front of them, or take the job that they've been offered, or go to the school that they think they should go to. There's this false sense of security. It's why so many people work in corporate and they don't jump out as entrepreneurs, because it's just the world seems so uncertain out there. And so people are addicted to certainty. So how can you ensure that maybe you are actually selling certainty? Not the product, not the service, but maybe you can create or engineer your product or service to provide that level of certainty. And this is what social proof and this is what testimonials and data and research, it helps back this idea of certainty, guarantees. But at the end of the day, certainty is important, and it's the number one driver in North America statistically. Now, the second thing that people love is variety, right? Tony Robbins says that if you ate the same sandwich every single day, you'd probably get sick of it, right? That variety is the spice of life, right? And so people want variety. It's the reason why people go on vacation. It's the reason why they have affairs. It's the reason why they do really stupid things sometimes, because being a robot and being repetitive, that can be a drain, can't it? And so maybe you're actually selling variety. Maybe you're selling change. We worked with a national airline, and we produced their campaigns, their TV commercials, radio commercials, things like that for an airline. And when we were selling travel, you better believe variety was a big part of it. You know, being able to shift things up, change things up. Have you ever seen those boxes? I was just thinking about those boxes where you go to a place and it's like $10 for a surprise pack and you have no idea what's in it. I always think, why the hell would I spend $10 on something if I don't know what's in it? And yet I see all these other people buying stuff and they're opening it up and it's like the experience of like, oh, cool, I got this thing that I never thought of. That is variety. The third need is significance. Significance. We all want to feel significant. We all want to be heard. We all want to be seen. We all want to be known. The idea of status that we were building on with Expert Secrets and Russell Brunson comes down to significance. I want to be significant. And if you are an entrepreneur, chances are that certainty and significance are your leading areas. You want to be certain and you want to be significant. Now, we just have a different level of comfort with risk than many people who are in corporate or in kind of stuck in jobs or stuck in a life that they don't like. But there's certainty, there's uncertainty, which is variety, there's significance, and then the last one is love or connection. This is why communities are such a great thing. This is why brands, my 10-year-old wants a pair of Crocs. We've never really been into Crocs because I just think they're kind of like rubbery, plasticky crap. But my daughter really wants a pair because they're super, super popular amongst Gen Zs right now and amongst younger people because you can pick any color you want, which gives you a sense of variety. You can customize it by putting those little things in. I don't know. She told me what they were called. I don't remember. Those little pins, the little things that you put in there. Those little things you put in to customize it. And so if she had a pair of Crocs, she would be able to form a relationship or a connection with all the other girls in her class who have Crocs. But it would be significant to her because she would be able to customize it in a way that's a little different and she would get a bit of variety. And so I don't know how much certainty there is in Crocs other than you know exactly what you're getting, I guess. But that's not my point that you have to hit everything. But how is it that Crocs have suddenly done so well? I mean, they've done research on it and studies on it and it is killing it right now with Gen Zs and younger people. Because of that reason, because they're mass-produced, super cheap, super affordable. People find them comfortable, but at the same time, different styles, different colors, and then they can be customized. Same reason why Nike has been putting out Jordan Air 1s for 3 years now or something like that, 4 years, with just endless number of color combinations. And so I would just challenge you to really ask yourself, what are you really selling? When you consider your business, when you consider all of the different communications, marketing that you have at every point, at every touch point, ask yourself, what are we really selling? And then once you know what you're really selling, look at what you're doing. Look at what you're writing or producing or creating or the way that your funnels work or the way that your sales conversations work or the way that you're positioning and pricing your product or service. Look at all that and say, am I actually selling what I think I'm selling? Am I actually doing a good enough job of selling this? And if you make these few small tweaks, these little changes in your approach, you will see dramatic results. Okay, so to wrap up this episode, let's hit the 3-point roundup. Number 1, you need to ask yourself what you're selling. You must. No doubt about it. Start doing it right now. Number 2, let go of the fact that when you say, what am I selling? It's not always about a sale. It's actually more about influence or the next step or being able to drive people forward or move them forward or break through. So if you're doing a recruitment campaign, if you're doing a fundraiser, if you're doing an event, if you're doing something that doesn't have a very obvious conversion point, or you're not asking people to pull out their credit card, or you're not asking to run a payment off of them, that doesn't mean that you're not selling something. You are certainly still selling something. So don't get caught up on the words. And number 3, work to understand your prospect's psychology, because there are reasons why we do things. There are motivating factors to why we do things. And chances are it's going to come down to status. We want to look smarter or be more powerful or make more money or look better from physically or have a better sense of style, or we want to be happy. And we're doing that to take it even a level further because people want to be certain. People want also variety. They want to have a connection and they want to feel significant. I want to thank you for listening in. If you'd like to leave a comment on this, if you'd like to ask us a question or just give us a follow, head over to Instagram. You can find us at Sales Loop Brand. One last thing, if you made it this far into the show, you probably should subscribe, and here's why. Every week, we share practical strategies and tips just like these to supercharge your business growth and to boost sales. With that, we're going to wrap up this episode. I'm Mark Drager. Thanks for listening.